Hello, Krista. I have slept 3 hours in as many days, so if I stop making sense, that's probably why. You know what really bothers me? The expression PGP check-in. Stands for Preferred Gender Pronoun Check-in, and it has occurred in my life often enough for it to become a consistent problem. Now, I know for most people, they don't have to encounter PGP check-ins at all. People who, say, aren't trans don't have to deal with this very often. And even most trans folks only encounter it occasionally, in student group meetings or other community organizations, nonprofits, that sort of thing. And occasionally institutions of various kinds will have meetings where PGP check-ins have been institutionalized. This poses a problem for me for two reasons. The first is that I fucking hate the expression preferred gender pronoun. Second is that this organization, whatever it is, has adopted a practice of checking in about pronouns, which is a great practice. It is good for me, and people like me, and for everyone. I think this is a good thing, but they're calling it something that undermines the validity of trans people's gender, and that is fucking unacceptable. I'll go into why, again, in greater detail, but it means that right at the beginning of the meeting, I am forced to face the decision to either be silent and seethe with hatred about the disrespect implied in the expression, or to have an irritating, confusing, convoluted meta-discussion about why that language is disrespectful that will inevitably be derailed into other cases where language might be disrespectful or who is disrespecting whom. And this is all taking away from the time that it was supposed to be going to whatever the meeting was about in the first place. So, I don't want to have that discussion ever again. Here is why I hate the expression preferred gender pronoun. In short, it's because they're just pronouns. They're the pronouns we prefer because they're the correct ones to describe us. So, preferring them is pretty redundant. Now, it could be that preferred qualifies gender instead of pronouns, in which case we prefer the gender that is correct for us, the one that we live every day. Describing anyone's gender as preferred in a culture where the dominant narrative is that cis people's genders are normal and natural and trans people's genders are deviant and a lifestyle choice is contributing to demeaning narratives about trans people. It is actively demeaning. Now, as for the expression gender pronouns without the preferred, I don't think that's much of an improvement. I mean, gender could mean linguistic gender, in which case it's redundant. All pronouns in the third person have a gender. They're just masculine, feminine, or neuter. This is a linguistic naming convention. It doesn't actually have to do with a gender that people have. It's just gender is a type of noun or pronoun. Now, it could be that the gender in gender pronouns refers to the social construct of gender. That is, the gender that people have. But in this case, it would be disrespectful to agender people who do not have a gender and therefore whose pronouns cannot be gender pronouns in this sense. Their pronouns might still have a linguistic gender, but so do all pronouns, so it would be redundant to do this. So either you are being redundant, you are excluding agender people, or you're equivocating and doing both at the same time. There's nothing good that can come from it. Just leave it off. Now, I will certainly concede that there are a lot of cases in which somebody might want to use a pronoun that does not necessarily describe their inner selves. However, I think the word pronoun describes that situation in as much detail as is necessary to the people who will then use that pronoun to describe them. I also don't want to imply that gender is immutable. These things might change at any point. That's why it's so important to check in about pronouns. So to sum up, just say pronouns. Krista, I will see you on Tuesday, someday.